praise song. Ananda Nanda Gopala Mohana Muralidhara Shama Gopala He Mukunta He Ananda Nanda Gopala Mohana Muralidhara Shama Gopala Sundara Giridhari Hare Nadavaralala Sundara Giridhari Hare Nadavaralala Keshava Madana Gopala Madhava Keshava Madana Gopala He Mukunta He Ananda Nanda Gopala Mohana Muralidhara Shama Gopala. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ashwani Raina, Deputy Director, Shenzhen Mindray Biomedical Electronics Company Limited. He has graduated Electronics and Communication Engineering from Mindray University. He started his career as a sales engineer for Toshiba Medical Systems and held various positions like sales executive, sales manager, regional manager, country manager, and business manager in GE Healthcare, and worked with Mindray as national sales head and was previously the general manager, Shenzhen Mindray Biomedical Electronics Company Limited. We are pleased to have you, sir. I also welcome Mr. Ravi, Regional Sales Manager, South Ultrasound Imaging System, Mindray Medical India Private Limited. Being an inspiration and bringing on innovation is the ultimate fruit of education. To mold us into future innovators, we have amidst us Mr. Ashwani Raina. And sir, I kindly request you to come forward and share a few words with us.
Let me say good morning to all of you. It's really nice feeling for me to be with people like you. You know, I'm not. I consider myself to be a little young when I come over here. It has been almost 15 years when I left my college, and I was a guy like you. During our time, it was not very clear what kind of stream you want to move in. We're not sure, whether biomedical will fetch me something, whether electronics will give me something, whether electrical engineering will do something for me, or computer is my main domain. I think you people are a little lucky that there are some indications at this point of time where you can think which way your career should grow. And you have been fortunate enough to live in this era where economy has been growing, where things have come to a little bit clarity how we should move. And I think the field in which you are, I find it quite interesting and exciting. I'm not sure how many of you understand the healthcare arena, the healthcare domain. I'm sure all of you know that in India, if you look at the healthcare per se, we still have a lot of disconnect what a patient needs and what as a healthcare provider we deliver to them. So that makes a huge gap which is available for all of us to look at that gap. Now in this wonderful crowd group of people, all of you would have different interests, areas of interest. Some of you would love to go into innovation, that's research and development. Some of you would like to go into application. Some of you would like to go into service. Some of you would love to do sales. Net, if you look at all these arenas, you need to make sure that you have a solid ground footing of biomedical engineering. You understand what it is. And as an individual, when you move out of this place, you should have some kind of clinical knowledge as well. The problem probably I don't know how the curriculum is currently. I had some kind of interaction with your management. We are trying to understand what kind of curriculum they currently follow. But I would love to see you people getting more into application area. I was just sharing with Mr. Anubarajan that we should be probably called half engineers, half doctors. Don't call yourself just a biomedical graduate or biomedical engineering. So let me throw a simple question to you. How many of you could tell me what is a myocardial infarction? Just raise your hands. Myocardial infarction. Anyone knows? No? Yes, no. Everyone knows? What is liver abscess? Everyone knows? Yes? Yes or no? Plain wave on an ECG means? What it means? Dead. How many of you have seen an anesthesia delivery system? Everyone? What is the maximum strength of a supercon MRI system available today? Any answers? Okay. So lucky, it's a well-informed crowd, I would say. Good to talk to you. So what I intend to do is I would speak a little bit about ultrasound. I'm sure what I'm going to speak. You would have probably gone through this, and probably it's this particular training my team does for the new guys. Let me tell you how we operate as an organization, as a profit and loss company, how we run our organizations. The people who move into our organizations, they work in different segments, from sales to service to application. When they work at a country-specific level, and when they move into a bigger setup where we manufacture our products, where you have our R&D and innovation centers, so your different skill sets require at different levels. I will take you through a little bit about ultrasound. It's not too much, a deep dive from my side. I will run probably pretty fast on this. Then I will give you a brief idea about our organization, what we are, who we are, what we are doing globally, what we do in India, what we intend to do going forward. And then I will be glad to take the questions from your side related to anything and everything under the sun. Is it making sense? Yes. Thank you. Tell you, when you look at ultrasound, relate it with the equipment. It's very important when we talk about sound, we must relate it to the main equipment. And at the same time, we should try to understand what is the real meaning of ultrasound. You break this ultrasound into two, ultra and sound. That's probably where you will understand this a little more easily. So if you look at the radiology segment today, where we talk of CT, MR, X-ray and ultrasound, this is one modality which is growing a little faster. That's why probably I have picked up this subject. And what else this does? These are some pictures. This I'm sure you would have seen during your studies. So you transmit something, you receive something, right? How that's transmitted, how that's received. I'm not going to become a real professor for you. That's what I said. I would say specific words, and you pick up on that. Now, what's so interesting about ultrasound? We said it's real-time imaging. You take the equipment, you scan, you see it real time. It's not like the X-ray, MR or CT, where you get the image, which is processed image, and you look through images. Here, you have something on the screen which you really visualize in front of you that makes ultrasound really, really exceptional. It's non-invasive, right? You don't radiate. You don't get inside by radiation. And look at the cost of a CT or MR equipment compared with an ultrasound equipment. That makes this modality again interesting. The cost of ownership is really, really low. And we have head-to-toe coverage, right? I can do a transcranial, I can do a posterior tibial, I can do a dorsal. So I can do everything with ultrasound equipment today. It's mobile, I can carry it to ICU. You have these days, hand-carried equipments, you have full-fledged big equipments. And as I said, the imaging is really, really flexible. And the most important part again is the biopsy. You can do biopsies very easily with the ultrasound equipments. Now it's a very simple principle. I'm sure more than 99% in this room would know that when the frequency is high, the resolution is more. And when the frequency is less, the resolution is, it's a vice versa relationship. Right? We would probably get into a little bit of what are the main components which come into picture when we think of ultrasound as a modality. We will get into a bit of these at some details. So when you look at the mechanical vibration or wave with frequencies above 20K, right? So for medical diagnostics, we talk of audible range. Here we are talking of any frequency ranging from a particular frequency which is used for our ultrasound diagnostic imaging. So here this picture very clearly tells you what is infrared sound, what is audible sound, and what is diagnostic imaging sound. So this diagnostic imaging sound which is used for the ultrasound equipment. Now, one more important component which comes into picture in ultrasound is velocity, which is obviously dependent on the medium and the temperature, and we roughly consider as constant 154 millibars per second in human body. So there is a relationship between velocity, frequency, and wavelength. That's why we are debating about this point. This is again an approximate chart which gives you a velocity of sound in human medium spreading from blood to brain to kidney to fat, from tissue to muscle and to the liquid. We come across this particular factor or specific acoustic impedance, which is defined as the product of density of medium and velocity of sound in the medium. So basic concept of ultrasound wave is again, we send, when we transmit ultrasound wave and we receive back, so we are basically talking here of a reflection. Now what is the incident wave, what we receive back, what is the transmitted wave, and what are the different mediums? Can ultrasound wave pass through a bone? Can it go through a bone? Cannot. So when we speak of a reflection, we have one of the basic principles in medical ultrasound, where we talk of specular reflections, which occurs at large range in impedance, producing a large reflection and also reducing the continuous wave amplitude. In case of medium reflections, which occur with dense tissues such as muscles. You have diffuse reflections which occur with soft tissues such as liver. The second component of this is refraction. You would see in the picture here, which describes it perfectly, when a propagating ultrasound wave encounters a specular interface at an oblique angle, it is refracted in the same way that light is refracted through a lens. The portion of wave that's not reflected continuously into the second medium, it's dependent on the velocities of two medium. If velocities are equal, there would be no refraction occurred at the beam goes straight into the second medium for the velocities of different tissues in the human body. Then we speak about diffraction. If an ultrasound beam passes an obstacle within distance 1 or 2 wavelengths, its direction of propagation is deflected by diffraction as shown here. The closer the beam is to the diffracting object, the greater the diffraction is. This is called scattering. No, you people will get a little confused when I'm talking of this scattering, reflection, refraction, diffraction. The important thing is once you come out and when you talk on ultrasound as a modality, if your fundamentals are not clear, it may be a little difficult for you to understand. Today, I'll give a little, I will take you away from this discussion and I will tell you there is something called elastography. How many of you have heard about elastography? Anyone? Anyone? Somebody raise the hand. No. Okay, let me tell you, I'm sure you know that the number of patients who have cancer in India, it's on a real high. And if you go at the prediction for next 10 years, this number is really alarming. Now, what are the techniques today which are available for us to